Hi Virgo, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a card of ambition. Knight of Wands is a card of doing what we want. But I'm also seeing a Ten of Swords here too. I want to get more context about this. This can mean that there can be some stuff going on that you're dealing with right now, some stuff going on that you're processing right now, and you sort of need to stay on your feet through this. But it can be hard to do that. Like, if you are trying to motivate yourself to do something and encourage yourself to do something, but then you're simultaneously like dealing with something difficult that happened, sometimes it can sort of uninspire you because of that being a little bit of a draining force. So that part of you that started off like, I'm gonna approach this, or I'm gonna attack that and get it done, or I'm just gonna go for this, and you feel all just motivated to do that, ready to set forth and go in that direction. And then you have something that happens that it just can feel discouraging, having the Ten of Swords here a bit. But on a mental level, it's something that can mess with you mentally, because it can sort of dampen that fire within you. But this is also something that you can use to ignite a fire within you as well, or to stoke the flame. But Ten of Swords can sometimes be depending on how you're taking it, it can be something that sort of drains you a little bit of your motivation here. So you could have started that you started off strong here with something, and then having that Ten of Swords happen, it could have had your flame dwindle a little bit. So that can be how this initially feels. First major arcana out, we have the Hermit, which is your card. You can be looking for answers. I wonder too if this has anything to do with your approach. Something here you want to take your time with, you do not want to rush through. I wouldn't do anything impulsively at this time, or without totally thinking it through. If something feels like a yellow light, it's being suggested to hold off. Yeah, I get this feeling of you being really enthusiastic about something here, and you could have been met with an energy that could have possibly taken advantage of that a bit. Like, you got excited about something, and this situation that happens, it feels like when it first started out, looking at something as being very non-threatening, like feeling very involved, not seeing this as threatening, seeing it just as something that there was motivation to be there, and you put your energy into it, and that you were very uncontained being present to that. Then something happened that feels like it could have sort of set you up to armor yourself, to guard yourself, to feel like there was a threatening force here, a threat to your ego in some way, a threat to your heart in some way, and then things ending. So if this Five of Swords isn't your energy, this can be you going into something with an open and courageous heart, really allowing yourself to be there and involve yourself. And then when you have that Five of Swords there, this can be an energy of somebody that could have taken advantage of that. Somebody that could have taken advantage of your enthusiasm, your openness, you wholeheartedly giving your energy. And this feels like somebody that's in a, if this is not your own energy, the Five of Swords is somebody that can be in a blocked off heart chakra space. And then I'm seeing things conclude, and it could have felt like really hurt as things concluded. And this could have been shocking, it could have been surprising, it could have been something that you weren't expecting to experience. It's like you're going somewhere and you expect there to be a certain like type of rules that everybody's playing with, like a rule book that everybody's playing by, and then somebody does something and they break the rules, and then you're like suffering the consequences of that. And when we go through something like this, when somebody is interacting with us in a way where they have their heart closed off, is then like a contagion that we ultimately have the choice whether we catch that or not. This is something that can have you shut down in the heart space. It can be something that you turn into their energy, like you embody that interaction and then you carry that contagion with you. Or this can be something that you see rising up within you and you recognize this can be a time when I catch on that energy from this other person and allow myself to be infected with that, or I transmute the energy. And that's what you're in the midst of doing currently. But it can be something where when you go into something courageously and open-heartedly, and then you have somebody meet you with an oppositional energy, and especially one that I feel like a taking advantage of it here, it can be really difficult not to shut down because of that. Because it can do, this is a type of energy that can pull at your inspiration. It can deplete your inspiration. It can deplete your courage. Because, again, if this is somebody outside of yourself, this is somebody that's the space that they're in. Their courage has been depleted. They have shut down within the heart space, and they see you and see that as being, it had triggered something within them, feeling like they could get some sort of advantage, and then things unfold in the way that they do. And when you're in close proximity with this energy, whether it be somebody that you're dealing with, whether it be you working with the energy within yourself, how do you transmute that? How do you balance that? How do you anchor that energy? Rather than taking it on and becoming it, rather than shutting down. This can definitely be something that activates your Mars energy. Your Mars energy can want to fight. It can want to take action. It can want to do something. I feel like this tests your mental agility, your fire. I think also too that part of you that uses discernment to know when to take action and when to not do something. When to do something, when to not do something. And also too, what motivates the action that you take. When you experience, for those of you again, that this is somebody outside of yourself that you're interacting with, when you experience somebody doing something where you feel like they're abusing their power in some way, or they're doing something selfish, or they do something that puts you at a disadvantage, and you see them leading with that, how can I make this about me? Or how can I get the advantage here, or the upper hand, or how can this benefit me in some type of way, and I don't really care what happens to anybody else involved as long as I'm getting what I need here. It can be really difficult not to take that on and want to match that energy. So if you're at a point where you don't want to match that energy, where you want to maintain your vibration and not sink down to where this other person is, how do you transmute that? And it's difficult because the ego is triggered, your Mars energy is triggered. You want to do something, you want to be like, oh, we're gonna fight like that? Okay, I can too. and then you're doing the same thing that they're doing, and so you're just going to be another echo for that energy as well. And if you're at a point where that's not something that you want to embody, what to do here? What to do here is to sit with the energy for right now. I'm seeing you be guided not to do something. It's saying, I'm seeing us end this part of the spread with temperance. That means do not react to this. This means let's try to find a way to anchor this. Let's try to find a way to transmute this energy. So rather than you taking that on, like the diseased energy, that you transmute it and you maintain your vibration here, which is like your mode of operation. So rather than sinking down to this person's level, this is staying where you are and not letting this take you out of your integrity. Because that's ultimately, like, this is an energy that lacks integrity. And so when you're interacted with by somebody coming from that space, it can have you want to do that same thing. Not your higher self wanting to do that, but your ego wanting to do that. Like, I'm not going to let them get the best of me. So how do you remain level when something activating like that is going on? And how do you still charge ahead? How do you even like bring your attention to you and what you want to focus on and what you want to do rather than pay mind to that energy? Even though it's going on, yes, so we're not negating that. It's not ignoring that that's taking place. It's rather being in charge of what you're focusing on. What are you centering your eye line towards? Because you can either remain doing what you're doing here and keep that pace up. It feels like if you're running a race and you have somebody trying to like swipe your feet out from under you, you can like stop the whole thing and then get in an argument with the person, and it's like they did that because of their own reasons and they're in that energy. And or you can just get back up and keep running and forget that person and like leave them in the dust. Or this can be a time when you like pause the whole thing that you're doing just to level with this person and like, do you actually want to be doing that? To level with this energy, do you actually want to be doing that? And I'm seeing like you don't need to, because I feel like this is just a distraction. This is just a distraction. It's like one of those times where all you have to do is stay focused on what you're doing regardless of what's going on around you and what somebody's doing, and you don't need to make what they're doing your business. Even though they made what you're doing their business, you don't need to do the same thing. You don't need to do the same thing. Because this is somebody that feels like they can't win in a fair way when there's like something going on. Like generally fives can be seen as like a competitive energy environment that we can be in. So when you have like somebody in the environment that's like taking cheap shots or whatever it is that they're doing, and it feels like kind of messing with you a little bit, what do you do when that's going on, and how do you pay this as little mind as possible so the energy can just deplete itself? Because if you take this on karmically, that will then become your karma as well, because then you're going to be doing the same thing as them. And like, think about how you felt when that was happening. Do you want to embody that energy? Do you want to be behaving like that then? Because even if you can look at something as like, I'm just paying them back or whatever, you will be involving yourself in something so much bigger than that, and you don't need to. It's unnecessary. It really is, because you know that you don't need to make it your karma to like try to give somebody their karma, so to speak, as the word karma is popularly used today out of context. But yeah, you can like make this your thing, and then you'll have to take on that energy. And I feel like in this moment you can look at that and see like, when you were interacted with like that, when somebody was doing that in your direction, like how were you left feeling, and do you want to be embodying that? And I think that gives you your answer of what to do here. Like, is that something that you want to be a carrier for, or do you not want to be? Because you don't have to be. You have the choice. And this all comes back to you having a choice here with this. And you don't need to worry about somebody getting whatever, you know, like the scales being balanced, because they will be. You never have to worry about that. The universe will always, always, always answer that call. And you don't need to make it your business to do that, because it's really not, ultimately, unless you want it to be. But then you're going to have the backlash of that, energetically speaking. And you don't need to. You don't need to burden yourself with that. This is a burdened energy, and you don't need to take that on. Think too that it can be difficult, like coming back to this thing about when you are running in the race and you're like, I'm confident in myself, I believe in myself, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go for this thing, and then you have the person that they don't believe in themselves, they don't think that they can do it without like doing the cheap shots or whatever. Like, don't allow that to take you out of that mindset of like, you got this, and you don't need to let that distract you. Like, keep going. This can be somebody that sees you winning and they're feeling triggered by that, and then they're doing things to get in your way. Like, don't let it. You don't need to let this energy do that to you. You can just keep going and keep doing your thing, because I'm seeing like you're doing great. This is something that comes through, and this is a distraction, and you don't need to give it your energy. Your work is figuring out how to transmute it. It's not leveling with this person's energy. How do you do that, and how do you maintain and keep doing what you're doing while dealing with things like this and not allowing it to affect your energy in a way where you end up reverting and going back and then pausing what you're doing and getting distracted by this, because it is just a distraction. It's kind of like, will you take the bait? And you don't need to. And that's where the true strength is too. I think before we understand how to truly embody this, the energy of the King of Wands, we can get mad about things, we can be reactive, we can want to get revenge, like we can want to like square up. Whatever it is that you're feeling, that you want to do, that you want to like use that to just motivate you to keep doing your thing and to do it with even more energy and more passion and more vigor. Rather than give, because you're going to give this person a supply doing that, which is what they wanted in the first place, and you don't need to do that. Not at all. And that's your choice. You'd be choosing to give your energy to that person when really you could use it to go the rest of the way, to do what you're doing. When you feel like you're at a yellow light, don't make a move. Wait until the energy settles. Because usually it's that our conscience is coming through, our higher selves are coming through and saying, hey, that's not a great move, but the ego is like, do it, do it, do it. And that's why you get that stammering within the energy. Don't make a move at the yellow light. It's a time to pause. It's not a green light when it comes to this energetic interaction that you're having here. How do you take this in stride? And how would you even use this as motivation for you to do what you were doing, but with more passion? Like, use what this brings up for you to hone in and focus more on the goals that you have and more on the stuff that you're focusing on. Because that's actually you transmuting the energy, where you're getting energy from this rather than this taking energy away from you. And that's ultimately the move that you want to make here, because that's what's aligned with your values. Not you stopping and squaring up with this energy. It's not worth your time. Not today. And that means too that this isn't taking you out of your integrity. because I'm definitely getting this, like, how do I deal with this? Like, is this a threat? What am I supposed to do? It feels like an assessment that's been going on here. Like, what do I do with this energy when it steps towards me? And I feel like this is just all you needed to know for this. And there can still be a part of you that's like having a hard time sitting still and not giving this your energy, like moving it towards this person and then allowing them to siphon your energy. Cut it off and keep doing what you're doing. Like, reverse it so the energy goes back to you and it motivates you and it pushes you further, and you create even more of a gap between yourself and this energy. That's what I'm seeing the advice be for this. Seeing the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, this can also speak about your values, and it speaks about you being in an important position where it's like, it's important for you, for there to be integrity within the things that you are doing, for you to stand by what you believe in. And the Hierophant can also be about your morals. It can be about your values. What happens when you go through a situation that feels triggering? How do you transmute it and stay aligned with your integrity, not step outside of that? And that's ultimately what this is about. And also too, like, how do you not take this personally as well? That's another one. How, when somebody is directly coming to you and having an interaction with you where you are dealing with something because of how you've been approached, how do you keep in mind that this is a process that's playing out and that it's not personal? And so it's not yours to need to give that person that energy. The best thing that you can do is take what was thrown at you, transmute it, and use that as more fuel rather than completing that interaction and giving it back, because then all it did was hold you up here. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time. Hold on, I'm seeing something here. Even though it can feel at first like this energy took something away from you or something like that, because I'm seeing you be in the interaction with it, things will balance back out. You don't need to do it. I'm seeing that there will be a rebalancing here. You don't need to take this upon yourself to do it. It will come back around without you needing to do something. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Leave this energy in the dust. I'm definitely seeing this like wanting to do something. Be with the energy. Do not bring it back to this person. Because that's already happening. That's already in the works. You just keep doing your thing. I feel like you just need to be unbothered here by this. And when I say unbothered, I mean like it doesn't mean ignoring this. It means you're going to personally transmute the energy and be along your merry little way. Because this energy is not a vibrational match for you. And you're not going to make it one. So you keep going, okay? All right. Thank you everybody for connecting. I hope to catch you next time.